Welcome to the series of Bhagavad Gita chapters. Chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita, titled Jnana Vijnana Yoga, delves into the profound aspects of knowledge and wisdom, emphasizing the understanding of both material and spiritual realms. In this chapter, Lord Krishna imparts essential teachings to Arjuna, providing insights into the nature of the supreme reality and the path to spiritual enlightenment. Krishna begins by explaining that both jnana, knowledge, and vijnana, wisdom, are necessary to comprehend the truth. Jnana refers to theoretical knowledge, while vijnana is the experiential realization of that knowledge. Krishna underscores the rarity of true wisdom, stating that among thousands of people, only a few strive for perfection, and among those, only a few attain true understanding of his divine nature. He elucidates the distinction between the material and spiritual energies. The material world is composed of 8 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intellect, and ego. These constitute Krishna's lower nature. Beyond these is his higher nature, the soul or the living entities which sustain the universe. Krishna's higher nature is the essence of life, and recognizing this is key to spiritual awakening. Krishna reveals his omnipresence, explaining that everything in the universe emanates from him. He is the source of all creation, sustenance, and destruction. Everything material and spiritual originates from him, and understanding this leads to the realization of his supreme position. This knowledge enables devotees to see the divine presence in all aspects of life, fostering a sense of unity and connection with the Supreme. In this chapter, Krishna also addresses the different types of devotees. He categorizes them into 4 groups: the distressed, those seeking material gain, the inquisitive, and those seeking knowledge of the Absolute. Among these, the wise devotees who seek knowledge of Krishna with unwavering devotion are considered the highest. These devotees understand Krishna's supreme nature and worship him with pure love and devotion. Krishna further discusses the concept of Maya, his divine illusory power that binds individuals to the material world. Maya creates ignorance, making it difficult for people to perceive the true nature of the Supreme. However, those who surrender to Krishna and engage in devotional service can overcome this illusion. By cultivating devotion and knowledge, individuals can transcend Maya and realize their eternal relationship with the divine. The chapter also highlights the importance of faith and devotion in the path to liberation. Krishna explains that people who worship other deities with faith are ultimately worshiping him, but in an indirect manner. Those who worship Krishna directly, with steadfast devotion, attain the highest spiritual realization and liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Chapter 7 verse 1 begins with Krishna revealing deeper spiritual truths to Arjuna. He explains that while he has previously taught Arjuna about the knowledge of the individual soul and its relationship with the Supreme, he will now reveal the most profound wisdom for Arjuna's benefit. This verse sets the stage for Krishna to impart essential teachings about the nature of the divine and the path to spiritual realization, emphasizing the importance of spiritual wisdom in attaining liberation. Chapter 7 verse 2 continues Krishna's discourse, where he introduces the fundamental principle of knowledge and ignorance. He tells Arjuna that while he knows both the manifest, physical existence, and unmanifest, eternal reality beyond physical perception, his knowledge is flawless and complete. This verse highlights Krishna's omniscience and emphasizes the importance of understanding the distinction between the temporary material world and the eternal spiritual reality. It lays the foundation for deeper insights into the nature of existence and the path to spiritual enlightenment. Chapter 7 verse 3 delves deeper into Krishna's teachings on knowledge and wisdom. Here Krishna explains to Arjuna that among thousands of individuals who seek spiritual realization, only a few actually understand the truth about his divine nature. This verse underscores the rarity of true spiritual insight and emphasizes the importance of divine grace and inner purity in comprehending the ultimate reality. It invites reflection on the profound nature of spiritual knowledge and the path to enlightenment through sincere seeking and divine guidance. Chapter 7 verse 4 emphasizes Krishna's divine omnipresence and omniscience. He explains to Arjuna that all beings, both animate and inanimate, originate from him. This verse underscores the foundational principle of monotheism in Hindu philosophy, highlighting Krishna's role as the ultimate source and sustainer of all existence. It invites contemplation on the interconnectedness of creation and the divine, reinforcing the idea that everything emanates from and is sustained by the divine consciousness. Chapter 7, verse 5, further elaborates on Krishna's omnipresence and omnipotence. He tells Arjuna that the entire universe is sustained by a fraction of his divine power, which reflects his supremacy over all creation. This verse highlights Krishna's role as the ultimate cause and controller of the cosmos, underscoring the profound nature of his divine presence in every aspect of existence. It invites contemplation on the vastness and majesty of the divine and encourages reverence and devotion towards Krishna as the cosmic source and sustainer. Chapter 7, verse 6, continues to elucidate Krishna's omnipresence and his relationship with creation. He explains to Arjuna that all living beings, whether divine or demonic, are sustained by his energy. This verse emphasizes the universal manifestation of Krishna's divine presence and the interconnectedness of all beings through his cosmic energy. It invites reflection on the inherent divinity within all existence and underscores the idea that Krishna is the ultimate source of life and sustenance for all living entities. Chapter 7, verse 7, delves deeper into Krishna's teachings on spiritual knowledge and realization. He tells Arjuna that there is nothing higher than himself, the supreme reality. All creation, both material and spiritual, originates from him, like beads on a string. This verse highlights Krishna's assertion of his ultimate authority and divine presence as the source and sustainer of all existence. It invites contemplation on the profound nature of the Supreme Being and the path to realizing one's true spiritual essence through devotion and knowledge. Chapter 7, verse 8, continues Krishna's teachings on spiritual knowledge and realization. He tells Arjuna that he is the source of both the material and spiritual worlds. All beings arise from him, and ultimately, everything merges back into him. This verse emphasizes Krishna's omnipotence and his role as the ultimate cause and sustainer of the universe. It invites contemplation on the interconnectedness of all creation with the divine, and underscores the importance of recognizing Krishna's supremacy and spiritual understanding. Chapter 7, verse 9 expounds on Krishna's relationship with creation and his divine manifestations. He reveals to Arjuna that those who truly understand his divine nature and manifestation as the Supreme Being attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death. This verse emphasizes the importance of recognizing Krishna's divine presence in all aspects of existence and the transformative power of spiritual realization in achieving liberation. It encourages seekers to cultivate deep reverence and knowledge of Krishna as the path to ultimate freedom and spiritual fulfillment. Chapter 7, verse 10, elucidates Krishna's divine attributes and manifestations. He explains to Arjuna that he is the source of all beings and everything emanates from him. This verse emphasizes Krishna's omnipresence and his role as the ultimate cause and sustainer of the universe. It invites contemplation on the interconnectedness of all creation with the divine and underscores the profound nature of Krishna's omnipotent presence in sustaining and governing the cosmos. Chapter 7, verse 11 continues Krishna's discourse on his divine manifestations. He tells Arjuna that the wise who worship various gods with faith are actually worshiping him, albeit in a lesser form, because all divine qualities and powers originate from him alone. This verse emphasizes Krishna's omnipresence and the unity underlying all forms of worship. It encourages seekers to recognize Krishna's presence in all aspects of devotion and spiritual practice, thereby deepening their understanding of the divine. Chapter 7, verse 12, emphasizes the importance of seeking refuge in Krishna alone for spiritual liberation. Krishna explains to Arjuna that those who are ignorant of his divine nature as the supreme personality of Godhead deludedly turn to other deities for fulfillment of desires. This verse highlights Krishna's supremacy and encourages sincere seekers to focus their devotion and surrender exclusively to him. It invites contemplation on the necessity of understanding Krishna's divine essence for true spiritual fulfillment and liberation from worldly attachments. Chapter 7, verse 13, explores the paths of divine worship. Krishna explains to Arjuna that 4 types of virtuous people worship him: those in distress, seekers of wealth, the curious, and the wise. Each approaches him with a different mindset and goal, reflecting varying levels of understanding and spiritual evolution. This verse emphasizes Krishna's compassionate acceptance of all sincere devotees, regardless of their motivations, and underscores the diversity in paths that lead towards spiritual realization and union with the divine. Chapter 7, verse 14, elaborates on the divine grace and realization. Krishna explains to Arjuna that those whose virtuous actions are exhausted by desires worship gods and attain temporary rewards in the form of heavenly pleasures. This verse underscores the transient nature of such rewards and encourages seekers to transcend mere desires and aim for a deeper understanding of spiritual truths. It invites contemplation on the importance of cultivating virtues and seeking higher knowledge to attain lasting spiritual fulfillment beyond material aspirations. Chapter 7, verse 15, elaborates on the ignorance and delusion that obstruct spiritual understanding. Krishna explains to Arjuna that those with demonic tendencies, devoid of divine qualities, do not surrender to him. This verse contrasts the paths of ignorance and wisdom, highlighting the obstacles posed by ego and desire in recognizing the divine. It emphasizes the importance of cultivating virtuous qualities and surrendering to Krishna for spiritual progress and liberation from worldly illusions. Chapter 7, verse 16, continues to describe those who are of demoniac nature, who do not surrender to divine principles or higher truths. Krishna explains to Arjuna that such individuals are full of pride, arrogance, and ignorance. They disregard spiritual teachings and choose to indulge in material desires, leading to suffering and bondage. This verse emphasizes the contrast between virtuous qualities that lead to spiritual growth and demonic tendencies that perpetuate ignorance and entanglement in worldly attachments. Chapter 7, verse 17, elaborates on the delusion and consequences of material desires. Krishna explains to Arjuna that those driven by desires for material gains and pleasures worship various deities seeking fulfillment. This verse highlights the transient nature of such pursuits and the perpetual cycle of desires that bind individuals to worldly attachments. It encourages seekers to transcend fleeting desires and cultivate a deeper understanding of spiritual truths for lasting fulfillment and liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Chapter 7, verse 18 emphasizes the wisdom of those who seek divine knowledge. Krishna tells Arjuna that rare souls, endowed with discernment and purified by many births of spiritual practice, ultimately realize him as the ultimate goal. This verse highlights the rarity and special nature of those who strive for spiritual wisdom and liberation from the cycle of rebirth. It underscores the importance of sincere effort and spiritual evolution in gaining profound insights into the nature of the divine. Chapter 7, verse 19, explores the outcomes of divine knowledge and wisdom. Krishna explains to Arjuna that those who possess true knowledge recognize him as the cause of all beings and as the ultimate essence pervading everything. This verse emphasizes the profound understanding and clarity that arise from spiritual realization, contrasting it with the ignorance that clouds one's perception of the divine. It invites contemplation on the transformative power of true knowledge in fostering a deeper connection with the universal consciousness. Chapter 7, verse 20, emphasizes Krishna's divine manifestations and his role in creation. He tells Arjuna that he is both the enjoyer and the lord of all sacrifices. This verse underscores Krishna's omnipotence and his integral presence in all aspects of existence, including rituals and offerings. It invites contemplation on recognizing Krishna's sovereignty and omnipresence, encouraging devotees to approach him with reverence and understanding of his divine nature as the ultimate source of all manifestations and actions. Chapter 7, verse 21, elucidates on the types of worshippers who approach different deities. Krishna informs Arjuna that those who worship the demigods with specific desires obtain their blessings, but their understanding remains limited. This verse highlights the diversity in approaches to spirituality and underscores the importance of intention and knowledge in worship. It encourages seekers to elevate their understanding beyond mere desires and recognize the ultimate unity underlying all manifestations, leading to a deeper connection with the divine consciousness. Chapter 7, verse 22, delves into the mindset of those who worship the divine. Krishna explains to Arjuna that those endowed with faith worship him alone, seeking nothing else. This verse emphasizes the purity and sincerity of devotion that transcends material desires. It invites contemplation on the profound simplicity of true devotion, where the focus is solely on connecting with the divine presence without expectations or ulterior motives, thereby fostering a deeper spiritual connection and inner fulfillment. Chapter 7, verse 23, continues Krishna's discourse on different approaches to worship and their outcomes. He explains to Arjuna that individuals who worship demigods reach those celestial beings, while those who worship ancestors go to them. This verse highlights the diversity of religious practices and their corresponding destinations in the afterlife, based on the worshipper's beliefs and actions. It encourages introspection on the consequences of one's chosen path of worship and emphasizes the importance of sincere devotion in spiritual growth and attainment. Chapter 7, verse 24, elaborates on Krishna's teaching regarding the limited understanding of those who worship lesser gods. He explains to Arjuna that the worshippers of the demigods receive transient results, as they are limited in their vision and understanding. This verse underscores the importance of aiming for the highest spiritual realization, which transcends the temporary benefits obtained from lower forms of worship. It encourages seekers to focus on attaining profound spiritual wisdom and insight into the ultimate truth rather than being entangled in transient gains. Chapter 7, verse 25, expresses that Krishna, as the Supreme Being, does not reveal himself to everyone. He is veiled by his divine Yoga Maya, making him unperceivable to the deluded and ignorant. People in the material world, driven by desires and worldly attachments, fail to recognize his true transcendental nature. Only those who are free from illusion and have pure devotion can comprehend his divine presence and understand his eternal, all-encompassing reality. Chapter 7, verse 26 states that Krishna knows everything about the past, present, and future, as well as all living beings. Despite this, no one truly understands him in his entirety. This verse highlights Krishna's omniscience and the limitation of human understanding. It underscores the divine nature of Krishna, who remains beyond the full comprehension of people, even though he is aware of all that has happened, is happening, and will happen. Chapter 7, verse 27 explains that all living beings are born into delusion, which arises from the dualities of desire and aversion. These dualities create a cloud of ignorance that obscures their true understanding of the self and the divine. As a result, people are caught in a cycle of suffering and illusion. Krishna emphasizes that overcoming these dualities is essential for attaining true knowledge and liberation from the material world's binding influences. Chapter 7, verse 28 states that those who have performed virtuous deeds and are free from the dualities of delusion engage in devotional service with firm determination. Such individuals, having purified their minds, can overcome the cycle of birth and death. They are resolute in their pursuit of the Supreme, free from sinful reactions, and thus can steadfastly engage in the path of devotion, ultimately attaining liberation and union with the divine. Chapter 7, verse 29, reveals that those who strive for liberation from old age and death, taking refuge in Krishna, come to understand Brahman, the self, and all aspects of karma. By seeking Krishna's shelter, these individuals gain true knowledge of the eternal and transcendental reality. Their devotion leads to enlightenment, enabling them to grasp the nature of existence and the workings of the universe, thereby moving closer to attaining liberation and eternal peace. Chapter 7, verse 30, explains that those who know Krishna as the Supreme Being, the governing principle of the universe, and the ultimate sacrifice, understand him even at the time of death. These individuals, who recognize Krishna's transcendental position and engage in unwavering devotion, attain true knowledge and remembrance of him. This awareness ensures that they achieve liberation and union with Krishna, transcending the cycle of birth and death and attaining the ultimate goal of spiritual life. Krishna concludes by emphasizing that he is the ultimate goal of all spiritual practices. Understanding his divine nature and engaging in devotional service is the highest form of worship. This realization brings peace, fulfillment, and eternal union with the Supreme. In summary, Chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita provides a comprehensive understanding of the nature of knowledge and wisdom, the distinction between material and spiritual energies, and the path to overcoming illusion through devotion. It underscores the significance of recognizing Krishna as the ultimate source and the means to attain spiritual enlightenment and liberation. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe my channel for more videos.